By Blackberry, and tonight we're at Turner Field here in Atlanta for Game 4 between the San Francisco Giants and the Atlanta Braves. The Giants lead the series 2-1, and a victory tonight will boost them into the League Championship Series against the Phillies. And welcome everyone to Turner Field. Dick Stockton along with Bob Brenly. And for this important game for the Giants, they are putting a lot of the burden on the shoulders of a 21-year-old left-hander from North Carolina named Madison Bumgarner.
You know, Dick, to steal a Vegas term, Madison Bumgarner is playing with house money tonight. Because of their victory last night, the Giants are not facing elimination tonight, so no pressure on Bumgarner. Other than the fact he's 21 years old, making his first postseason start in front of 50,000 or so, including friends and family from North Carolina, against a team he grew up rooting for on national TV. Other than that, no pressure.
Meanwhile, a pitcher for the Braves who has pitched well under pressure. He started Game 1 and lost to Tim Lincecum is Derek Lowe, and Lowe is going on short rest, something he has done in the past and done with success.
Well, he's pitched in the postseason many times, too. His 13th postseason series, he's pitched on short rest many times. I don't think Derek Lowe ever feels any pressure. If anybody feels pressure in those white uniforms, it should be the Braves defense. They made 2 errors behind him in Game 1. Certainly Brooks Conrad, the point man on that, but there's plenty of blame to be spread around for that Atlanta defense.
All right, so we're set to go, and the Braves are hoping that this is not the last game for Bobby Cox to manage the team. Coming up, it'll be the Giants and the Braves. For baseball, temperature 79 degrees, very calm. Just a pleasant night all around and not much wind. Right now, here's the Giants batting order for game number 4. Leading off in center field is Andres Torres. Freddie Sanchez will be at second base. Aubrey Huff hitting third at first base. And Buster Posey behind the plate batting cleanup. Pat Burrell will hit fifth in left field. Juan Uribe will be at shortstop. Mike Fontenot, who was in the lineup last night and delivered a big triple, batting seventh. Cody Ross will be in right field, and Madison Bumgarner, the pitcher, batting ninth, facing Derek Lowe, who wanted badly to pitch with 3 days rest, and he's getting his wish.
He lobbied for this start, Dick, before Game 1 of this series, telling Bobby Cox that he could come back on short rest, and here he is in Game 4 on short rest. And for Derek Lowe, he's been there and done that. As I mentioned earlier, 13th postseason series. 5 times he's pitched on 3 days rest, twice on 2 days rest. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher, and he would take a Game 1 repeat. Only 1 run scored against him in that game, and that was a tainted run on a misplay by Omar Infante at third base.
LDS coverage on TBS is brought to you in HD by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. So the Brave fans are out in force. Not quite the 53,000 fans we had last night, as Andres Torres, the switch-hitting center fielder, steps into the batter's box. The Giants, despite the 2-1 lead, have not gotten much production at the plate from Torres or Sanchez, who are a combined 4 for 24. And the first pitch of the game, outside ball 1. MLB postseason in Espanol, live MLB postseason Spanish language feed available via SAP.
Dick, we should point out right away with Troy Gloss at third base, we talked to Bruce Bochy about the bunters in his lineup. Says he's got 4 guys in there tonight that could conceivably bunt for a base hit. With that in mind, Troy Gloss way in front of the baseline at third.
And a call strike 2 and 1, and with Troy Gloss at third, that of course means Brooks Conrad is not in the lineup tonight. Bobby Cox said he thought about it and decided that Gloss would start and Omar Infante would move back to second base. Slap to shortstop, Alex Gonzalez, a little wide but handled by Lee, and Torres is retired for the first out of the game. Let's take a look now at the Braves defensively. In the outfield, it'll be Matt Diaz, Rick Ankiel in center, and Jason Hayward in right. So Troy Gloss, who hasn't played much at third base, Alex Gonzalez, Omar Infante at second, and Derek Lee at first base, and Brian McCann behind the plate. In fact, Troy Gloss played 2 innings at third base and only 40 last year with the Cardinals. You know, he had a big inning and a big play in Game 2 of this series as Freddie Sanchez takes a strike.
I don't think there's any doubt that Troy Gloss will handle balls that are hit within his range. The question is, where is that range right now?
Lowe quickly gets ahead of Sanchez, 2 strikes. Chipper Jones, Braves lost him. Martin Prado as well going out. Down to their third and fourth third baseman, really, in this game, number 4. Prado is having a terrific year and one of the top hitters in the league. Ground ball to the left side. Gonzalez off balance. Throws out Sanchez. 2 plays to Gonzalez. 2 out here in the Giant first. Bobby Cox hopes this won't be the last game he manages. And these had to see a series, Bob, in which his pitchers have pitched well. They have had dramatic leads briefly, and the defense really failed him at this point.
You know, Dick, we get the opportunity to talk to both managers before the ball game, and you would never know it by Bobby Cox's demeanor that this could conceivably be his last game as a manager in the major leagues.
Barbie Huff taking a strike. Big hit by Huff. Driving in the pinch hitter Ishikawa with the tying run in the 9th inning last night. And Lowe steps off the rubber. Bobby Cox had a long talk with Brooks Conrad. Said it'd be better if he just sat this one out. It's been very tough on Conrad, but he has gotten great support from his teammates.
And not only that, but from some of the guys on the Giants ball club I saw came over and talked to Brooks Conrad behind the batting cage today, and I'm sure they were offering words of encouragement.
Pop fly out to shallow left. Gonzalez out, Diaz in. Diaz makes the catch. Derek Lowe off to a good start. 1-2-3 inning. And the Braves will come up in the first. Off. Matt Diaz is in left field. Derek Lee hitting third, and Brian McCann batting fourth. Alex Gonzalez moves up to the fifth slot. Jason Hayward, who has not had a base hit, moves from second to sixth. Troy Gloss will be in the seventh position. Rick Ankiel hitting eighth, and Derek Lowe batting ninth against Madison Bumgarner, who had a strong finish, making his postseason debut.
You talk to Bruce Bochy and Dave Rigetti about the young left-hander. They say he is mature beyond his years. They're not concerned at all that he'll be rattled here tonight as you get a look at his numbers on the season in 18 starts. Really good on the road with the 6-3 record in 10 road starts. He's got a lot of deception in his delivery. He steps to the first base side and kind of crossfires to home plate. You better get him early. Opponents hitting .327 in the first inning of ball games with 5 homers. And indeed, if he does have some butterflies because of the friends, the family, and the team that he rooted for growing up, he better control them.
Omar Infante stepping in, and the first pitch is a call strike. Infante hitting .231, has 4 hits and 13 trips to the plate, and has struck out 13 times. Out of play to the right. The Braves as a team are batting .165 against Giant pitching. They have struck out 37 times and have scored in the game 7 runs in the 3 contests. In the air to center field, Andres Torres makes the catch. Infante's retired for the first out for the Braves. Taking a look at the Giants defensively, their outfield remains the same. Pat Burrell in left, Andres Torres, and Cody Ross. Mike Fontenot, good defensive third baseman, played last night. Juan Uribe at short, Freddie Sanchez at second, Aubrey Huff, the first baseman, and Buster Posey, who's been the best hitter for either team, the rookie behind the plate. Here's Matt Diaz. Diaz is hitless in 7 times up, taking ball 1.
Now you'll see Bumgarner's fastball, when he throws it away from a right-hander, he'll have a little bit of tailing movement. When he tries to run it inside, it's more pure and straight.
Talk about straight. That's straight to center field. Torres started in and then had to go back to handle this shot by Diaz, who hit the ball solidly for the second out.
A well-struck ball off the bat of Matt Diaz to straightaway center field. You can see the brief hesitation by Andres Torres. Outfielders will tell you the toughest ball to field is that one hit right at you on a line. That time Torres able to make a nice adjustment and make the play.
He's got the highest fielding percentage of any outfielder in the National League. And that brings Derek Lee to the plate. Veteran first baseman. That pitch a bit high, ball 1. Lee has 2 hits in 12 trips, has also struck out on 5 occasions. We can go right down the line to talk about the strikeouts. The Braves have struck out against these terrific Giant hurlers. Jason Hayward still looking for his first hit. Moving down to 6th in the order tonight. Two balls and a strike to Lee.
Real good velocity on that fastball from Bumgarner, 95 miles an hour, elevated in the strike zone. He will mix in an occasional slurvy breaking ball and a straight changeup, but everything works off of his fastball.
And the 3-1 pitch hit in the air once again to center field and once again deep, but Andres Torres is there to corral it. So 3 putouts by Andres Torres in center field. The Braves are retired scoreless after 1. YouTube.com/TBS Hot Corner to watch live video companion coverage of every MLB postseason game. Buster Posey leading off for the Giants, and he has been impressive in this series. He is the leading hitter, has more hits than anyone else, 5 for 12. Has a double, has scored 2 runs, and has walked twice.
You know, though, Dick, even though we know those numbers, if you watch Buster Posey's body language, it looks like he feels he should be doing more.
He has been a tough out. The first pitch is inside for ball 1. Buster Posey with a single and a double against Derek Lowe in game 1 of this series. And it's 2-0 to the rookie catcher. On deck is Pat Burrell, and he's done some damage. 2 balls and a strike.
Pat Burrell has done some damage against Derek Lowe in his career. 9 for 25 lifetime with a home run. That's a .360 batting average. Derek Lowe would like to get Posey here and have the bases empty when Burrell comes up.
Chases the pitch outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he chops it foul. Posey from Leesburg, Georgia, a couple of hours away from Atlanta, had a 21-game hitting streak this year. Came up at the end of May after Benji Molina was traded to Texas. Played first base for a while and then settled in behind the plate. And he's been a good one. And Posey strikes out for out number 1. You talked about how the Giants have supported Brooks Conrad. Pat Burrell coming to the plate, going over and talking to Brooks Conrad behind the batting cage before the game.
You know, Dick, players have all been there before. Maybe not on this stage, maybe not to the extent of what Brooks Conrad has gone through in this postseason, but every player has had similar struggles at some time in their career, and they all understand how much it means for even an opponent to come over and give him a pat on the back and tell him to hang in there.
3 errors last night for Brooks Conrad, who was a fan favorite this year. It's a shock to many of the fans here to have him have that much misfortune as Burrell takes ball 2, 2-0. Burrell with a 3-run homer in the first inning of game 2 put the Giants in front. Now the count is 3 balls and no strikes to Burrell. In fact, the Braves have hardly had the lead in this series, other than the Ankiel homer in the 11th to win 5-4. Pinsky's 2-run pinch homer in the 8th inning. They have trailed the Giants throughout this series.
And the previous pitch, you can see Derek Lowe just staring in at home plate umpire Mike Winters. Didn't say a word, didn't wave his arms, just that body language, letting Winters know that he thought it was a good pitch.
Right there! And the count is full, 3-2.
Derek Lowe's message may have been nonverbal, but Bobby Cox's was very verbal.
Burrell steps out of the box, giving the fans more time to vent their support for a strikeout here. And Burrell stays alive. Lowe's last start of 2010 came on 3 days rest against the Marlins, and he hurled the victory 5 2/3 innings. He's done this before. Fly ball to center field. Rick Ankiel coming over and making the catch for the second out. 2 out here in the second inning, and time to welcome in Tom Verducci from Sports Illustrated. Tom, the Braves do not lack motivation in this one, do they?
No, Dick, and they made it quite obvious. Before game 1, they all had T-shirts made up. 11 for 6. That's their motivation, and to translate the Braves' new math, that's 11 wins, which is what it takes to win the World Series. For number 6, the retiring Bobby Cox, extremely popular with the players. Now, lest you think he may change his mind, understand this. One of the gifts the Braves gave him was a cruise, and his wife Pam has already booked that cruise for April, but next season is already underway.
All right, Tom, that speaks to that. Pam is making sure there'll be no second chance looks. 11 for 6. Amazingly, the Braves survived on the last day of the regular season to get into these playoffs as the wild card. 1 ball and 1 strike to Juan Uribe. And now it's 2-1 to the Giants shortstop, who has 1 hit in 11 times up in the series.
Come on, Derek!
Nasty pitch, 2-2 now to Uribe.
That's the much improved slider for Derek Lowe that allowed him to record his highest strikeout total of the season in the month of September. Really tightened up that slider.
And Uribe goes down. 2 strikeouts and another 1-2-3 inning for Derek Lowe after an inning and a half. Still no score. Of the game brought to you by Foster's, and tonight we're talking road earned run average. And as you can see, Madison Bumgarner led the major leagues in this category, which is earned runs allowed in road games divided by innings pitched and multiplied by 9. You could try that at home.
Too much math for me, Dick.
And the first pitch to Brian McCann, the cleanup hitter, is ball 1. McCann is 4 for 11, including a double in this series. By the way, Bumgarner, with that impressive ERA on the road, is also 6-3 in 10 starts. There's a call strike, 1-1.
There was some question about McCann's availability after the ball game last night. He tripped over a bat near home plate and landed awkwardly on his right wrist, but got treatments after the game and before the game today and declared himself ready to go. That's the play we're talking about. The ball got up the first baseline. He stepped on the bat right there. As I said, fell awkwardly on the right wrist, but after a night and morning of treatments, he's good to go. Although, excuse me, Dick, he did have a little laugh about it. I asked him before the ball game, "Are you okay?" And he says, "You know, I went in and looked at a replay." He said, "I have to be the most non-athletic player on this field right now."
And he would cringe if he knew that we had another replay of that right here tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a ground ball handled by Aubrey Huff, unassisted, for out number 1. So Madison Bumgarner in a pressure situation, and I guess Tom Verducci doesn't really bother him that much.
No, Dick. I asked his father, Kevin, how he might handle this situation, and he said Madison has been training for this type of game since he was 8 years old. He said he's a good old country boy with a mean streak. He likes pitching inside, and he likes pitching on the road. He likes hostile environments. He seems comfortable so far.
Thank you, Tom. A native of Hudson, North Carolina. 6'5", 225 pounds. Alex Gonzalez, the Braves shortstop. This is the first pitch. He is 2 for 11. One of his hits was a double. Goes after a pitch high and outside the zone. There's McCann. Both of the catchers in this series batting cleanup. Right now, they're the leading hitters for their respective teams.
Well, I like that. I'm a big fan of the catchers now.
Strike 3, and Gonzalez looks at a called third strike.
Gonzalez has not been happy with the strike zone every game of this series. Right at the very top of the strike zone, Mike Winters ringing up Gonzalez. He's complained at pitches up. He's complained at pitches down. Got to swing the bat.
That's the first strikeout of the game for Bumgarner. And here's the rookie Jason Hayward, who's moved down to the 6th spot, and he swings and goes the opposite way and gets his first base hit. Jason Hayward, who had gone hitless in 12 trips and has struck out 7 times, moved down in the order, goes the opposite way, and in the first base hit of the game for the Braves.
I'm not so sure he knew where this ball went. Head right down the barrel of the bat. Yeah, he was. He's looking out there to left field. He looked up in the air, though. Thought he may have popped it up. Didn't immediately find the baseball. Fortunately for him, it drops in front of Pat Burrell out there in left field for his first base hit of the series.
So a 2-out base runner for Atlanta, and here is Troy Glass. Who is 0 for 1 in this series. He takes inside for ball 1, and best known for starting a huge double play in game number 2 to keep the Giants from winning in extra innings. Ross's last start at third base was in October of last year.
Yo, Jerry!
Bobby Cox did tell us that Troy Glass played about 2 weeks in the minor leagues in a rehab assignment at third base, but as far as experience up here at the big league level recently, it's been very, very limited.
Started 107 games this year as a first baseman, hit .240 in 128 games. 1 ball and 1 strike to the veteran Troy Glass. Hayward singled with 2 out with the lead at first base. A swing and a miss on a good pitch by Bumgarner, who's ahead of Glass now, 1-2.
You know, Dick, you could almost draw a comparison between Troy Glass and Pat Burrell. The Giants left fielder, both power threats in the lineup. They both strike out a lot. They both walk a lot, although they both hit for a relatively low batting average.
Ball and 2 strikes. Glass fouls it away. Bumgarner called up in late June from the AAA Fresno club. Ended up with a 7-6 record in 8 starts. Trying to dispose of Troy Glass with 2 down, and Hayward the runner at first base. Bottom of the 2nd inning, no score. And it's chopped to shortstop, cut over by Fontenot, and the throw not in time. It's high to Sanchez, and everybody is safe. And Fontenot trying to get the force through high, and he will be charged with an error, and the Braves now have runners at first and second, 2 down.
That looked like a tailor-made double play ball, but you can see Fontenot did not have a good grip on that baseball. When he went into the glove, it looked like he had a change-up grip on that ball. Had it way back in the palm of his hand. It comes out high. Sanchez has to go up the ladder to get the throw, and comes off the bag.
So Bruce Bochy seeing his team commit its third error. Braves making 3 errors, but the first 2 did result in runs for the Braves in game number 2. And here is Rick Ankiel, who won that second game with a deep 11th inning home run into McCovey Cove in San Francisco. He is 2 for 10 in the series and takes a strike on the outside corner. Braves have never faced Madison Bumgarner. And this is away, 1-1. And Keel's home run in game number 2, his top moment in baseball, and we know he's had plenty of low ones with his rough experience as a pitcher, but he has come back strong. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ankiel. This is the fastball, and it's 1-2.
"25 times this season, the Braves have faced a starting pitcher that they had never seen before. Solid .270 batting average, 13 home runs, 16-9 record. That's pretty impressive against guys you don't have much of a book on.
1-2 with 2 runners on, and the pitch is fouled back. This was the game-winning home run, the solo homer for Ramon Ramirez into McCovey Cove. First career postseason home run, and the 5th game-winning homer in the final at-bat in Braves postseason history. They were 4 runs down, tied it up, sent it to extra innings, and Ankiel's homer won it. In the dirt, good stop by Posey, and it's 2-2.
You may have noticed Buster Posey tapping his catcher's mitt on the dirt behind home plate. That's exactly where he wanted that pitch from his young left-hander. Tried to get Rick Ankiel to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. Just a little reminder to the pitcher, keep it down, 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 down. Posey does a nice job of blocking it. You have to earn that trust for a pitcher to throw that particular pitch in the dirt.
Breaking pitch missing inside. That was a close one. And the count is full 3-2, and with 2 out, the runners will be off. And Gloss are off. The pitch outside, ball 4. And that'll load the bases. The first walk issued by Bumgarner. And Hayward, who singled with 2 out, moves to third and Gloss to second as Ankiel is the base runner, and Derek Lowe coming up. Lowe, 151 hitter this year with 3 runs batted in, has struck out twice in his plate appearances in game 1.
Well, Bruce Bochy scratching his head in that third base dugout. That's very uncharacteristic for Madison Bumgarner. Only 26 walks in 111 regular season innings. Of course, with the pitcher on deck, he was going to be very careful with Ankiel.
And Lowe swings at the first pitch, lifts it in the air to right field, and Cody Ross makes the catch to retire the side. But the Braves, with 2 out, load the bases. They get a hit, and after 2, here at Turner Field, no score. presented by BlackBerry. Scoreless game into the third here at Turner Field in Atlanta. The Giants leading 2-1. And winning on the road last night, something they haven't done that much here in Atlanta. And trying to wrap it up. Game 5 would be Wednesday night at AT&T Park in San Francisco. There you see the two buddies wearing the opposing uniforms as Mike Fontenot leads off for the Giants in the third. And Derek Lowe facing the bottom third of the order. Fontenot, Cody Ross, and Bumgarner. First pitch. The changeup over for a strike.
You know, Dick, we mentioned it. Bruce Bochy told us he had 4 guys in his lineup that could conceivably try to bunt for a base hit. Mike Fontenot, one of those. Also Cody Ross in the on-deck circle. And, of course, the 2 guys at the top, Andres Torres and Freddie Sanchez.
Pitch is outside, and Troy Gloss playing the steps in, a few steps in at third base. Fontenot with a big triple last night, scoring on an error by Conrad. Reaches out and hits a slow roller to second base. Infante makes the play and is one out. Infante seems to be more comfortable at second base than he was at third when they made the switch because of the problems that Conrad had in the final series against the Phillies. On the last day of the season, Conrad was moved to second base and Infante to third. 1 out to Cody Ross. 3 for 11.
I'll tell you, Dick, the game moves a lot quicker down there at the hot corner. The ball gets on you extremely fast. Occasionally you're going to have to play in, depending on the hitter and his capabilities. At second base, you've got a little more time to lay back on the ball, read that good hop, and make easier plays.
Cody Ross knocked in a run against Derek Lowe in the 4th inning of game number 1 for the City. That was all Tim Lincecum needed as he pitched the 2-hit shutout, striking out 14. Derek Lowe loves the big game pressure. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Strikes out Ross for the second out and the third strikeout for Derek Lowe. The only previous postseason meeting between the Giants and the Braves back in 2002 in the NLDS. Game number 5, 8 years ago to the day from game 1 of the series. Barry Bonds with a solo homer off of Kevin Millwood. The Giants led 2-0 in the 4th, and then Rob Nen finished the 3-1 win by inducing a double play ground out from Chipper Jones, and the Giants survive. Strike 1 to Bumgarner. If you're a Braves fan, you don't want to see this. They are 0-7 in postseason elimination games here at Turner Field. 0-2 now.
Well, the Braves optimists would say that means they're due.
One ball and 2 strikes to Bumgarner. Not a bad hitting pitcher. 7 for 39 this year and 3 runs batted in. One ball and 2 strikes. Again, blowing away. Derek Lowe, 37 years old, native of Dearborn, Michigan. This is his 14th season in the big leagues. And that missed outside.
I'll tell you, Dick, this is a really good at-bat. Bruce Bochy has to be pleased with his young pitcher facing a guy working on short rest. Obviously, you'd like to get a base hit, but at worst, force Derek Lee to work.
He strikes out, so Derek Lowe retires the first 9 Giants and strikes out 4 in the process. We go to the bottom of the third, 0-0. and Howie Long and some of the biggest names in sports have to say about today's hot topics in sports. Check out Behind the Mic, presented by Allstate, exclusively on SI.com. It's a familiar chant here and familiar fans in the stands here at Turner Field as the Braves come up in the third inning of a scoreless game. It'll be the top of their order. Second baseman Omar Infante, who flied to Torres in center field. His first time up. Joe's bunt and takes a strike. In fact, the first three Brave hitters in the first against Madison and Bumgarner all hit to Torres in center field. Tim Lincecum, who will be the pitcher in Game 5 if the Braves win tonight. Line drive and a base hit for Infante. His fifth hit of the series, leading off in the third inning. Second hit of the game for the Braves. And Matt Diaz will come to the plate.
It'll be interesting to see how Bobby Cox chooses to play it here. Granted, it's very early in the ball game, and because of the scarcity of runs so far in this series, it wouldn't surprise me to see Matt Diaz square around and put down a bunt. He's done it twice during the regular season.
Throw to first to keep Infante close, and you've got the heart of the order behind him. Bobby Cox talking to his cleanup hitter, Brian McCann.
Although, Dick, that being said, Bobby Cox does not like to sacrifice bunt at any juncture in the ball game.
And a ground ball off the glove of Fontenot. And Uribe's throw to first, not in time. And the Braves have two base runners, Infante on at second, and Matt Diaz, who is on at first with an infield hit, nobody out.
Now, perhaps just the possibility of a sacrifice bunt forced Mike Fontenot to come in even with the baseline there at third. You see how close he is to the infield grass? All he can do is take a step and a dive, barely gets a glove on it. Diaz on at first with an infield hit.
And that brings Derek Lee to the plate. Do you think the Braves are swinging more aggressively so far?
So far it looks like it, because I think Bumgarner is throwing so many fastballs here in the early going.
And the first pitch missing. Ball 1-0.
When we talked to Terry Pendleton in San Francisco after the Lincecum game, I said, what are you telling your hitters? He said, swing at strikes and get back on the fastball. That's how you got to the big leagues. Get on the fastball.
1-0 pitch and a fly ball to right field. Infante tagging up at second. Cody Ross makes the catch. Here comes the throw. Infante will get to third with one out. As Lee flies out to Ross in right field. Holding it first is Matt Diaz. So Lee does the job. He gets a run to the third base with one out, and Brian McCann coming to the plate.
Now, unlike the Braves pitching staff, who is an extreme ground ball staff, Tim Hudson, Derek Lowe, even Tommy Hansen got more ground balls than we expected. The Giants pitching staff is a strikeout fly ball pitching staff, and that's what Brian McCann is looking for right here. Something he can lift to the air of the outfield.
First time up, he grounded to Aubrey Huff at first base. And Bumgarner falling behind with one out. Infante at third. Diaz is at first. In game two, the Braves didn't have a runner as far as second base. And twice already they have a runner at third. And misses again. Just low, 2-0. Alex Gonzalez waits to hit. Three and 0 and one pitch away from loading the bases. green light. And it's now 3-1.
And why not? McCann has been their best hitter in the postseason. Clutch RBI guy in the middle of the lineup. Led the team in RBI during the regular season. Bobby Cox turns him loose on the 3-0 pitch.
And got a good pitch to hit. 3-1 with one out. No score. Braves batting in the third inning. And a call strike. So the count is full to Brian McCann. Big opportunity for the Braves to jump in front here in the third inning. Again, something the Braves have not been able to enjoy. And Keel's home run in the 11th to win the game. And then Hinsky's two-run pinch homer giving them a brief 2-1 lead last night. And a fly ball hit to right field, and that should get the run home. Cody Ross makes the catch. Infante tags, will come in and score, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead. For Brian McCann, big RBI sacrifice fly. Holding it first is Diaz, now with two out.
And what a great at-bat for Brian McCann against the left-handed pitcher. Madison Bumgarner starts him with a slider off the plate away, came back with a rare straight changeup off the corner inside, misses again with the slider away. Here's the 3-0 fastball. McCann swung through, took a fastball for a called strike, and then was able to elevate that slider to right field to drive home the runner from third base.
And the throw came into second base. So with two out, here's Alex Gonzalez. He takes ball one. Bumgarner has fallen behind virtually every Braves hitter he has faced in this game. 1-0 the Braves lead, and certainly the earliest they have had a lead in this series. Diaz draws a throw over at first. The inning started with a sharp single to left by Infante, and then Diaz with a sharp hit ground ball off the glove of Fontenot. Big at-bat for Derek Lee as well to get Infante over to third. And a shot foul down the left field line.
You bring up a good point, Dick. Some people will argue the merits of the productive out, but Derek Lee's deep fly ball to right field allowed Infante to tag and advance to third, where he was able to score on another deep fly ball to right field.
So here's Gonzalez, who had the key double in game number 2 that brought the Braves back into a 4-4 tie. Struck out looking his first time up and swings and misses on an off-speed pitch. It's now 1-2. Be sure the crowd is going to boo throws to first base, and on the bluff to third and the throw to first, fake to first base. Everywhere you go, the crowd always boos that move. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. And a line drive base hit to center field. Torres fields it. Stopping at second is Diaz, and the Braves have their third hit of the inning. Runners at first and second, 2 down, and Jason Hayward coming up. And Dave Righetti, the Giant pitching coach, makes a visit to the mound.
And a base hit on a fastball up and out over the plate. The back-to-back singles to lead off this third inning by Infante and Diaz both came on fastballs. After that point, Madison Bumgarner went to his secondary pitches, the slider, the rarely used straight changeup. Comes back in with a fastball to Gonzalez, and he promptly wraps it into left center field.
So the Braves have hit the ball hard against Bumgarner so far. Even some of the outs have been hard hit, including in the first inning when Diaz hit one deep to Torres in center field. So the Atlanta Braves, with their first lead before the 7th inning of this series, looking for more here. And Jason Hayward coming to the plate. And the rookie singled to the opposite field on the first pitch from Bumgarner last inning. Diaz at second, Gonzalez at first. And already we have bullpen activity for the Giants. First pitch is a strike. Guillermo Mota. And that's the earliest the Giants have had a relief pitcher working in the series. There's Mota. 0-1 the count to Hayward. Pops this one up in front of the plate. Posey will make the catch in foul territory, and that'll do it. But the Braves take the lead and get 3 hits after 3 here at Turner Field. Atlanta 1, San Francisco 0. Don't miss the series premiere of Glory Days, November 16th at 10, 9 Central, only on TBS. It'll be the top of the order for the Giants facing Derek Lowe. Let's not forget that he was the National League Pitcher of the Month in September when he won all 5 of his starts.
And that coincided with that tightened up slider that we talked about earlier. There's no question Derek Lee lives and dies with his sinking fastball. But the ability to throw that slider for strikes when he wants to, lead hitters out of the strike zone when he wants to, has really tightened up his game.
Andres Torres will lead off. Matt Burrell and Buster Posey on the railing of the Giant dugout. Torres grounded to Gonzalez, his first time up. Switch hitter was the Giant catalyst in a big year for the former minor leaguer. Bluffs the bunt and takes ball 1 as Gloss was coming in from third.
Really exaggerated charge from third base for Troy Gloss. This is what they call trying to take the bunt away. Put yourself in such a position that a batter just doesn't feel he can get the ball down safely in front of you.
1 ball and 1 strike. Troy Gloss not played much third base. Foul ball. And it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to Torres with Freddie Sanchez on deck here in the 4th. Slap. Gonzalez tried to backhand it and couldn't handle it, and Torres is on, and he is the first base runner for the Giants after Derek Lowe retired the first 9.
You see the limited range of Troy Gloss here. 1, 2, 3 steps to his left, just can't get there. Gonzalez goes after the ball with the slide, but just cannot find the handle as he goes into the glove and attempts to make that throw across the diamond.
And an error charge to Gonzalez. That is the 6th error of the series by the Braves. Quick throw to first base. Torres stole 26 bases in 33 attempts, even though the Giants were really not a running team this year. Again, over there. So Torres on at first base. Let's go down to Tom Verducci.
Torres is quite a story, Dick. In 2002, he was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But it wasn't until 2007 that he actually started taking medication for that. It actually really improved his focus on the field. He also changed his swing. He used to swing the bat similar to Ichiro Suzuki, and turned into more of a rotational hitter with power. Now, he's been with 6 organizations, played in more than 1,000 minor league games. So for him to be here is a terrific story. The Giants recognize that this year. The players voted him their Willie McCovey Award winner as their most inspirational player.
An award once won by my partner Bob Brenly with the Giants, and diving back in a close play at first base this time. Great story, you're right, Tom Verducci, is Andres Torres.
Derek Lowe almost caught him between strides there, taking his lead off of first base. And the good base stealers will barely lift their feet up off the ground as they creep off of first base, and that time Lowe caught Torres with a foot up in the air.
Lowe falls behind Sanchez, 2 balls and no strikes. Torres, by the way, also missed 11 games due to an appendectomy in the month of September. And at 32 years old, probably never dreamed he'd be in this spot as a catalyst and playing in the playoffs for the big league club. And now Lowe behind 3-0 to Sanchez with Aubrey Huff, the number 3 hitter, waiting on deck. Now to Sanchez.
This is almost a guaranteed run count for Torres over at first base. Freddie Sanchez handles the bat extremely well. And with that in mind, Derek Lowe's going to check on him, try to shorten up that lead a little bit over there at first.
Braves leading 1-0, and the Giants trying to answer that here in the top of the 4th. Good lead, and there he goes. Torres is off. The pitch swung on and missed. The throw to second in time. Great throw by McCann, and Gonzalez puts the tag on Andres Torres for the first out of the inning, and the count now 3-2 to Sanchez.
Not a great jump that time by Torres. Quick pitch from Derek Lowe, and a perfect throw and a perfect tag by Gonzalez. Watch how quickly he gets that glove back to the base. Torres slides right into the glove.
And the 3-2 pitch, and a ground ball going to his right is Infante, and Sanchez is out for the second out. And it's still early in the game, and it's only 1-0, but you can feel the energy of the Braves and their crowd early on here in this critical game 4. And Aubrey Huff will come to the plate with 2 out.
Well, that is just a tremendous tag by Alex Gonzalez. You can't do it any quicker than he did, and his pitcher, Derek Lowe, really appreciates it.
A fly to Diaz in left field. Back in the first inning, it takes ball 1. Aubrey Huff was the best run producer for the Giants this year. 26 homers and 86 runs batted in. And his first time in the postseason. He's ahead on the count 2-0. And now 3 balls and no strikes to the Giant first baseman. Well, this is the third 3-0 count. And a foul off. 3-1 now to Huff. Buster Posey has been the top hitter for the Giants, waiting on deck.
And both managers turning their hitters loose on 3-0, and the hitters earn that right during the course of the regular season. If you show your manager you'll use good judgment, swing at good pitches 3-0, they will allow you to do that.
It's the fastball, fouls it straight back. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. Here's the payoff pitch. Strike 3. Took something off it, and Aubrey Huff goes down. That's the 5th strikeout of the game. And the error by Gonzalez to start the inning does not hurt the Braves. They lead it 1-0. They have 4 hits against Madison Bumgarner, and it'll be the bottom third of the Braves' order here in the 4th inning. Troy Gloss, Rick Ankiel, and Derek Lowe.
You know, Dick, we talk about making adjustments in the game of baseball all the time. It looked to me in that 3rd inning like the Braves were going to the plate, geared up for Madison Bumgarner's fastball. See if he goes to breaking pitches and changeups here early in the sequence here in the 4th inning.
Gloss reached on an error, and he takes the breaking pitch for a strike. Troy Gloss was the World Series MVP back in 2002, playing for the Angels against the San Francisco Giants. No balls and 2 strikes now. He had 16 homers and 71 runs batted in during the regular season. Strikes out on 3 pitches for out number 1 here in the 4th. It's time to talk, brought to you by Charles Schwab. And we're pleased to have the Giant hitting coach Hensley Mullins with us. And of course, down 1-0. What do you see from Derek Lowe so far, Hensley?
Well, his mixing pitch is good. He's throwing more sliders now than in the past. You know, he used to be a 80% sinker guy, but he's mixing in his backdoor slider. Keeping the ball down. We just have to make him get the ball up and get the ball in the strike zone and be aggressive when he does that.
That's what I was going to ask you, Hensley. What do you tell your hitters? How do you counteract a guy who throws everything moving down, down, down?
Well, that's, last time we faced him, we chased a lot of balls that were out of the zone. He has, balls that have a lot of movement late into the strike zone. So you just got to be short and quick and make sure that you don't commit too soon to him and make sure the ball is up in the zone to put a good swing on it.
So Hensley Mullins, the batting coach for the Giants. Rick Ankiel with the count 2 balls and 1 strike, talking to Hensley Mullins between innings. And Ankiel lifts the fly ball to Pat Burrell territory in left field. And they are 2 down here in the 4th inning. And Derek Lowe coming to the plate.
Hensley Mullins' nickname is Bam Bam. I'm sure that's very appropriate for a hitting coach and what he'd like to see his offense do against Derek Lowe.
Lowe came up with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning and ended the frame by flying out to Cody Ross in right field. 1-0 the count to Lowe. Braves in front 1-0. And a call strike. Madison Bumgarner, 21 years old, and the rookie. Out of North Carolina, the pitch is down low, 2-1. Tomorrow on TBS, postseason coverage continues with the first Game 5 in Division Series play since 2005. And there's a broken bat roller to shortstop, and Lowe is retired, and that will end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Bumgarner. So we move to the 5th here in Atlanta. The Braves are up 1-0. Nothing. Giants have had 1 base runner, and that was Andres Torres, who was safe on an Alex Gonzalez error to start the 4th inning, and he was thrown out attempting to steal. So Lowe has faced a minimum of 12 thus far as Buster Posey leads off for the Giants in the 5th inning. He was the first strikeout victim for Lowe tonight. Lowe has 5 strikeouts, has not walked a batter. First pitch over for strike 1. Time called. Buster Posey, who heard boos. Now, he's from Leesburg, Georgia. He heard boos the other night, and he said, I loved it. Competitor, he knows where he's playing. He's playing for the other team. Troy Gloss with the chance at third, and Posey's retired, and we have one out here in the Giants' fifth. It's time to talk. Brought to you by Charles Schwab and Tim Hudson, the Braves pitcher, watching the game. And, you know, this team always has life when it looks like the end, and it looks like your club is energized so far tonight, Tim.
Well, you know, that's how we've been all year. You know, we've been fighting all year till the end. And, you know, there's always fighting us, man. We got a lot of heart. We got a lot of guts.
You know, Tim, you're very similar to Derek Lowe in the fact that both you guys get a lot of ground balls. Do you talk about opposing lineups and how the other guy is going to attack them?
Yeah, you know, we talk with B-Mac. We have a pretty good game plan usually coming in. You know, I'll tell you what, he's been throwing the ball really well this last month and a half. And, you know, it's fun to watch him pitch when he gets in a groove like this.
Talking to Tim Hudson moments ago, 0-1 the count to Pat Burrows. Swings and misses again. No balls, 2 strikes.
I think the conventional wisdom in baseball is that working on short rest can be a benefit to a sinker ball pitcher, and that has been the case so far tonight for Derek Lowe. This is the best stuff I've seen from him in a long time.
Strikes out Burrow. That's number 6 for Derek Lowe, and there are 2 out here in the Giant fifth.
Derek Lowe with that slider that we talked about earlier got Buster Posey to swing and miss. Juan Uribe swing and miss in the middle of the plate. Cody Ross just off the outside corner. Worked it to the back door to Aubrey Huff. He's got it going on both sides of the plate tonight.
And Juan Uribe grounds out a 6-pitch inning for Derek Lowe, and he is retired. The side in order after 4.5, 1-0 Braves. And the enthusiastic throng, which we have here tonight at Turner Field, similar to what we witnessed in the first 2 games at AT&T Park in San Francisco. Top of the order, Omar Infante takes ball 1 from Madison Bumgarner. Infante started off the 3rd inning with a base hit when the Braves scored the run, the only run we've had in this one. Bluffs a bunt and takes a strike, 1-1. Braves leading 1-0. Bumgarner retired the side in order in the first and fourth innings. Braves loaded the bases in the second and got their run. Left 2 on in the third. And now it's 1-2. Tim Lincecum. What a phenomenal performance in Game 1, striking out 14 with his 2-hit shutout, and he would be the Game 5 pitcher for the Giants if it goes to a deciding game. Infante strikes out. Third strikeout of the game for Bumgarner, and there's 1 away in the 5th. That'll bring to the plate Matt Diaz. In moving around the lineup tonight for Bobby Cox, Matt Diaz moving into the second slot. He had not had a hit in the series, and he singled his last time up. Jason Hayward, who was moved down to 6th, got his first hit in the series.
There's really no way to tell whether that had an actual effect on the base hits in the ball game tonight, but you'd have to say so far so good for Bobby Cox and the Braves with the lineup shuffle.
1-0 to Diaz. Fouled out of play. Matt Diaz, 32 years old, had an infected thumb that put him out of action for 42 games in May. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike.
And we are seeing a lot more off-speed pitches now from Bumgarner. The slow curveball, the cut fastball in on the hands of the right-handed hitters.
Popped up to shallow left field. Uribe going out, backpedaling, makes the catch for the second out. Well, the Giants starters have been nothing short of magnificent. Games 1 through 3, Lincecum, Kane, and Sanchez. 23 innings, 2 runs, but only 1 earned. They've struck out 31, walked 4. Anywhere you look at it, the Giant starters have been great.
Well, there was some question, given the fact that they had not pitched in the postseason, would they be able to maintain that high level of effectiveness that they showed throughout the regular season? I think the questions have been answered.
Emphatically, as Derek Lee takes a called strike. Lee is 0 for 2, has flied out twice. One ball and 1 strike. Madison Bumgarner has 20 family members and friends who drove down from his native North Carolina, including his father Kevin and his grandmother, who insisted on coming despite recently having both her knees replaced. You could not stop Mary from being at the game tonight. 1-1 to lead. Fly ball deep to right field, but Ross is there and makes the catch for out number 3. Throws 7 in a row set down by Madison Bumgarner, but the Braves still lead 1-0. Berry. And tonight's question comes from our good friend Connor in Franklin, Indiana, and we really love Connor. And the question is, should the voting for awards like MVP and Rookie of the Year take postseason results into account?
I don't think so, Dick. I mean, for obvious reasons, Jason Hayward, Buster Posey here tonight playing in the postseason. A lot of very qualified Rookie of the Year candidates are home watching on television right now. I think the regular season only should be considered in that voting.
And the first pitch to Mike Fontenot is in for a strike. Fans, send your questions to EJ's mailbag at Turner.com. Fontenot grounded out to Infante at second. So this is where they stand right now. Hayward was 0 for 12 before he got a hit. Posey's had a good series. 1-1 the count to Fontenot, bottom third of the order against Derek Lowe. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Derek Lowe has faced the minimum 15 batters so far in this game. No hits given up. 1 base runner, that on an error. Jeremy Affeldt, giant left-hander, is working in their bullpen now. 1-2 pitch. Now it's 2-2 outside and low.
Very manageable pitch count at this point of the ball game for Derek Lowe.
And Lowe is low again, and the count runs full to Fontenot with Cody Ross on deck for the Giants.
Yeah, Affeldt warming up because 2 of the first 3 hitters due up in the bottom half of the inning for the Braves are left-handed hitters, and Madison Bumgarner, the 3rd scheduled hitter in this inning for the Giants. Should they get down there with an opportunity to make something happen, Bochy will pinch hit.
And Fontenot goes down on strikes. That is strikeout number 7. 2 of them called 3rd strikes.
It's that backdoor slider we heard Tim Hudson talking about just a few moments ago. When you can command that pitch on both sides of the plate and you can command your sinker on both sides of the plate, it makes it nearly impossible for hitters to sit on a pitch.
Here is the out distribution. So the sinker baller has induced 6 ground outs. He has struck out 7. Only 2 fly balls hit. And here is Cody Ross. Ross hits a shot to left field, going back, and it is gone for a home run. Cody Ross has tied the game with a home run with 1 out here in the 6th. And it was Ross who knocked in the run against Lowe in game number 1, which was all Tim Lincecum needed en route to his shutout.
I just talked how Derek Lowe was commanding his slider on both sides of the plate. He leaves this one right over the inner third. That was supposed to be right at Cody Ross's front leg, breaking across the inside corner. It caught too much plate, and Ross lined it out of here to left field.
In the first row of the seats in left field, the 2nd giant home run of the series. And here is Bumgarner, and he takes strike 1.
That home run bought him at least 1 more inning out on the mound for the Giants. Nate Shearholz, a left-handed hitter, had come out into the on-deck circle to hit for Bumgarner. The home run goes into the stands in left field. Bumgarner gets the at-bat.
And the pitch is down low, 1-1. So Cody Ross, who was a Marlin until he wore a Giant uniform, Tom Verducci, glad he's in postseason and producing.
And first time in postseason, Dick, remember, he was a waiver claim by the Giants, partially because they believe that the San Diego Padres, who they're competing against in the NL West, had interest in claiming Cody Ross. So they jumped on Cody Ross. He was their 6th outfielder at the time, and now he has started every game in this division series.
All right, Tom Verducci from SI.com, and Cody Ross not only broke up the no-hitter here in the 6th inning, he ended the shutout hopes for Derek Lowe and tied the game. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out to Bumgarner. And once again, Lowe goes to a full count against the opposing pitcher. Bumgarner makes Lowe throw 1 more pitch to him.
And once again, that's a good at-bat. Obviously, you'd like to see him get a base hit, get on base, make something happen offensively for the Giants. But realistically, Anytime a pitcher steps into that batter's box and can force his opposite number to throw 6, 7, 8 pitches, it's been a good at bat.
And he jammed him in the ground ball to Troy Gloss going to his left. And Bumgarner is retired for the second out here in the 6th inning. We're in Atlanta for game number 4 of the NLDS. Nick Stockton, along with Bob Renly and Tom Verducci. We've had a pitcher's duel basically throughout all of the 3 previous games, all decided by 1 run. We have another pitcher's duel. It's a 1-run game, 2-1. The Giants lead the series and a 1-1 score here. Braves scored in the 3rd inning on a sacrifice fly, and then Cody Ross with 1 out tied the game with a home run here against Derek Lowe, who is working on 3 days rest. Here is Andres Torres. And ball 1 to him with Gloss playing well in at 3rd. Moves back a few steps now. Torres grounded to short and reached on an error by Gonzalez in shortstop. He was the only base runner before Ross's home run to left field this inning.
Come on, Emma.
Low behind 2-0 to the Giants center fielder, and a shot foul off the tarp into the crowd and on to the field. Derek Lowe now has thrown 80 pitches. How far would he go, Bob?
Yeah, Bobby told us before the ball game that right around 100 would probably be the limit for Derek Lowe, although if he was still pitching effectively at the century mark, I think he may extend him a little further.
2 out, the bases are empty, and the count 2-1 to the Giant leadoff hitter. Slaps it opposite field way, and it's 2-2. Derek Lowe making his 3rd postseason start on short rest, and one of them was with 2 days rest when he started Game 7 of the 2004 ALCS when he beat the Yankees for the Red Sox.
Bobby Cox was telling us before the ball game that Derek Lowe is almost obsessive about his between start workouts. Has a very strict routine that he sticks to, pushes himself extremely hard so that in the event he's asked to come back on short rest, he feels like he is better prepared than anybody else on the Braves staff.
But doesn't he thrive in these situations? A slow bounding ball, and it's going to be a foul ball, and a call made by Jerry Lane, the first base umpire, who made sure.
A slow roller down the first baseline. Until that ball gets past the bag, it's actually the home plate umpire's call. That one was right at the base, and Jerry Lane was looking at Mike Winters, the home plate umpire. They made sure they were on the same page before making the foul call. That was one of those borderline ones, right at the bag. Up until the base, it's a home plate umpire's call. After the bag, it's the first base umpire's call.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. And a foul ball. Here are the umpires. Mike Winters, we've seen him behind the plate. Jerry Lane at first. That's Lane. Ed Hickox is at second. David Dubuque, the crew chief, is at third. Paul Nard down in left field, and Paul Emmel, the right field umpire. 22nd pitch of this inning is upcoming for Derek Lowe, and he strikes out Andres Torres to end it. But Cody Ross, with the 1-out home run into the first row of the left field seats, ties the game for the Giants with the Braves 1-1. First pitch deep to right field, and this ball is gone. McCann on the first pitch unties the game for the Braves. And Dave Rigetti is on the phone to the bullpen. Brian McCann, who led the Braves with 21 homers in the regular season.
And one of the things that makes Brian McCann such a good hitter is his plate coverage. We've seen him go to the opposite field on pitches away, but when he gets an off-speed pitch out there, he can reach out and hook it back to right field as he did with that line drive home run there.
Alex Gonzalez, who singled his last time up, takes a call strike. So the Braves take a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the sixth inning on the first pitch leadoff homer by Brian McCann. And a call strike 2 to Gonzalez.
I don't think there's any question McCann has been the best hitter for the Braves. Actually, it was a breaking ball. He got out in front of it. The pitch not in a poor location on the outside corner, but McCann able to cover that plate and hook it back to right field.
Here's the 0-2, and Gonzalez chops at it and strikes out for the first out in the sixth.
As I said, not poor location on the outside corner, but to a hitter like Brian McCann, who covers that plate, hits the ball to all fields, that off-speed pitch on the outside corner ends up being in his wheelhouse.
Over that fence right before the first throw, and for McCann, his third career postseason home run. Here is Jason Hayward, who had his first hit of the series with an opposite field single back in the second inning. He's 1 for 2. And a ground ball through the hole into right field for a base hit. Hayward with his second hit of the game. And the sixth hit for the Braves. Jeremy Affeldt is the left-hander, and Santiago Casilla, the righty for the Giants.
Remember, Bruce Bochy had a pinch hitter for Bumgarner in the on-deck circle when Cody Ross hit that home run, but he called the pinch hitter back, sent Bumgarner up to take the at-bat, sent him back out to start this inning, and the wheels are coming off quickly for the left-hander.
And Brian McCann, who delivered the home run, remember, he's the reason why the National League has the home field advantage in the World Series. His double with the bases loaded in the All-Star game was the winner. So McCann now paying dividends, first for his league in July and now for his team in Game 4. Troy Gloss reached on an error and struck out. Madison Bumgarner under siege here in the sixth inning. There's a call strike to Gloss. The lead at first by Hayward. Grounded to third. Fontenot to second to Sanchez. The throw to first, not in time. And Hayward does a great job of taking Sanchez out at second to prevent the double play. 2 out, and Gloss is the base runner.
Well, among many of his talents, Hayward is a lot quicker than you realize for a big man. He gets right on Freddie Sanchez at second base, who still has time to complete the double play with Troy Gloss running, but his throw is high to first. And Gloss is safe at first on a fielder's choice. Good takeout slide that time by Jason Hayward.
So Rick Ankiel 0 for 1 with a walk in the second inning. Takes outside ball 1. Ankiel, the hero of Game 2 for the Braves, with his 11th inning blast into McCovey Cove in San Francisco to give the Braves the 5-4 win. Now they're trying to even the series and send it to a deciding game Wednesday night in San Francisco. Way ahead of that off-speed pitch. You saw Jason Hayward in the dugout moments ago. Interesting that Madison Bumgarner was taken 4 picks ahead of Jason Hayward in the 2007 first round. 2-1 now to Ankiel.
I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those draft picks. It depends on whether you need more pitching in your organization or more offense. Both figure to be great major league players for a long time.
On the corner, evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. '85th pitch about to be delivered by Bumgarner, who is the only starter who didn't pitch in the 4-game series that the teams played here in August. And Ankiel strikes out, and that will do it. That'll be 5 strikeouts, but it was Brian McCann's leadoff homer on the first pitch to give the Braves the lead again, 2-1.
Exactly what we expected when this series began. Every game has been a pitcher's duel. 6 hits surrendered by Bumgarner, only 1 for Derek Lowe, the solo home run by Cody Ross. Just another tremendously well-pitched ball game by both.
And the Braves have bullpen activity for the first time tonight. Peter Moylan and Johnny Venters. That's the plan. Bobby Cox telling us before the game. Right-hander is Moylan. Piece it together some way. Freddie Sanchez leading off for the Giants in the 7th. Fouls it off. Madison Bumgarner, who was the choice to pitch this 4th game. Remember, Barry Zito was left off of the roster by Bruce Bochy, the right-hander. He felt Bumgarner was the way to go and thought that he would be the pitcher all the way in this 4th game.
I asked Bruce Bochy a tough question today when we were down in his office. I said, if Barry Zito had pitched a better game,
what would he do? And he said, I'm not sure, but Bumgarner was my guy. Sanchez grounds out to Infante as we check in with Matt Weiner in our studios. All right, Matt, thank you very much. Aubrey Huff taking ball 1 with 1 out here in the 7th inning. So will a home team win a game in that ALDS as the Rangers won the first 2 in Tampa Bay, and then the Rays won the next 2 in Texas. Tomorrow they go back to Tampa Bay. 2 balls and no strikes to Huff. Derek Lowe came into this inning having thrown 85 pitches. What about the pitch count story, Tom?
Well, Dick, it's obviously a very critical inning for Derek Lowe. Bobby Cox regards Derek as a guy who's basically, even on full rest, a 100-pitch pitcher. So they are watching him very closely. In a normal situation they would, but especially now with the short rest.
Tom, when he pitched with 3 days rest at the end of the season against the Marlins and worked 5 2/3 innings, he threw 99 pitches in that game. And he loses Huff here, who draws a walk. That's the first walk issued by Lowe, and it comes with 1 out here in the 7th.
Well, that could be a factor too, Dick. 2 of his last 3 starts being on short rest. It is about efficiency. You mentioned that 2004 Game 7. Interesting, for that game at Yankee Stadium, Derek forgot to bring his spikes to the ballpark. They had to send the equipment manager out to buy a pair of spikes, and he went out and he threw 6 innings and threw only 69 pitches in that Game 7.
You know, Dick, that would not have been a problem tonight, because if Derek Lowe forgot his cleats, he could wear Bobby Cox's.
Yes.
Bobby Cox, throughout his managerial career, has worn metal cleats every game. He says it's just a comfort factor. He feels like that's what he needs to wear with the baseball uniform.
Buster Posey takes ball 1, and Bobby Cox yelling at Mike Winters, saying that was a strike, but he will retire with his spikes on. Whenever the Braves are eliminated, there's a call strike, 1-1, and of course the sidebar story, of course, every time the Atlanta Braves face an elimination game, as they did last Sunday, or a week ago Sunday, when they beat the Phillies and got in as a wild card, and this game is that this could be the last game for the retiring Bobby Cox. Fouled away by Posey, and the count 1-2. Up the runner at first with 1 out. Braves in front 2-1 in the 7th. And the Banks, the big day held on the Saturday before the last day of the regular season. We got a new car, we got a painting, and as you mentioned, that 11-day cruise that his wife Pam said, we're going next station. Reaching out, and a slow ground ball, going to be trouble, and no play, and Posey is on. So an infield hit by Buster Posey. Aubrey Huff moves to second base, and that is just the second hit of the game for the Giants, and they have runners at first and second.
You can see Gloss had backed way up into a deeper fielding position at third base, comes in to make the barehanded play, but no chance to get Posey at first base. A little bit of an off-balance swing, kind of leading him out of that right-handed batter's box. He got down the line a little quicker than he normally would.
And Bobby Cox is going to the mound, and Derek Lowe will be taken out, and a terrific pitching performance by Derek Lowe, and he doesn't want to come out. He says, he's got Pat Burrell coming up, and he's retired him twice, including a strikeout, and he's going to stay in. So Bobby Cox goes back to the dugout, and Pat Burrell, who has flied to center and struck out, coming up with the tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first here in the 7th with 1 out. Surprised?
I am a little bit surprised, just because of the pitch count that we spoke about with Tom Verducci just a moment ago, and the fact that earlier in the game I mentioned Pat Burrell's career numbers against Derek Lowe, and this is a tiring Derek Lowe at this point of the game.
Ball 1 outside. Huff, who walked with 1 out, is at second. Posey, who reached out and got an infield hit, is at first base. Peter Moylan is the right-hander. And it's 2-0. Carl is a career 300 hitter against Derek Lowe, and he's ahead on the count 2-0, and now it's 3 balls and 1 strike, and 1 pitch away from loading the bases. which would send a runner to third with one out, where a sacrifice fly, among other things, would tie this game. And the 100th pitch for Derek Lowe coming up here. It's in for the strike. Interesting, when Cox went out there, shades of Brady Little going to the mound to talk to Pedro Martinez. And he too went back to the dugout. Derek Lowe is on that Red Sox team. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 inside. And the bases are loaded. Huff will go to third. Posey advances to second. So 2 walks this inning by Derek Lowe, who's upset with himself. And Bobby Cox will now come out and make the move. But Derek Lowe, head down. But he will hear this crowd when he comes off the mound. Has always been a player's manager, and here's Derek Lowe talking about that.
You know, everyone says player's manager, but, you know, he has your back, I think, more than any manager in the game. And I know from a starting pitcher standpoint, he will do anything possible to get you that win. And you have to respect that. You know, he'll try to let you get that at bat. Maybe he should pull you, or I mean, he'll leave you in there maybe longer than he should. But he believes in the starting pitching. He believes that you are going to find a way to get out of it.
Interesting that Derek Lowe said that, Bob, because he left him in and he walked Burrell, and now the bases are loaded for Moylan.
Well, and Moylan's got his hands full with the first scheduled hitter that he is going to face, Juan Uribe. You get a look at Moylan's numbers on the season. We've seen him in this series. Sidearm delivery, tailing, sinking fastball in the low 90s, a frisbee-like slider, occasional straight changeup. I mentioned Juan Uribe, the man making his way to the plate right now. He has thrived in these bases-loaded situations this year. In 7 at-bats, he's had 4 base hits, including 2 homers and a double.
And the 2 homers were Grand Slam homers for Juan Uribe. So a dangerous threat at the plate here facing Peter Moylan. With the bases loaded and 1 out, the Giants trailing the Braves 2-1. Uribe is 1 for 4 against Moylan in the regular season. And the first pitch fouled away, strike 1. Uribe has struck out and grounded out against Lowe. Aubrey Huff at third base, Buster Posey at second, and Pat Burrell with the lead at first. Nearly hit Uribe. It's inside, and it's 1-1. Peter Moylan making his 4th appearance in this series. Yesterday faced 1 batter, and it was Buster Posey who reached on an error by Brooks Conrad in the 9th inning. 1 out. Now back 1-2 to Uribe. Braves still have the left-hander Johnny Venters in their bullpen. 2, and Uribe wasn't going to chase him.
Uribe has been known to chase pitches out of the strike zone, but was able to lay off that slider way out of the zone.
Juan Uribe, who drove in 85 runs, second on the Giants this year. 2-2 pitch grounded into the hole, knocked down by Gonzalez, and safe at second base. And the run scores to tie the game. Gonzalez trying to get the force to Infante. And Buster Posey beat the throw. Puff scores and an RBI for Uribe.
Gonzalez does a nice job of getting to the ball. He throws from his knees back to second base, pulling Infante off the bag.
That'll be an error.
And notice the right hand of Gonzalez as he dove for that ball. His throwing hand skidded through the dirt. I'm sure he didn't have a good handle on that ball when he threw to second.
And Gonzalez committing his second error of the game. No run batted in. Puff scores. The bases remain loaded with 1 out, and it's a 2-2 game. Another pitching change coming up.
Without express written consent.
Very close at second base. Infante goes up to take the high throw from Gonzalez. Was he able to keep his toe on the bag as the ball entered his glove? Extremely close call at second for Ed Hickox.
Pat Burrell was the runner sliding in.
Maybe just the very tip of that front cleat on the bag for Infante.
So a fielder's choice for Uribe, who's on at first base, and an error on Gonzalez on the throw. And the Braves have made a double switch here. Johnny Venters, who has appeared in every game, coming in. There are the regular season numbers. So Venters, the left-hander, coming in, and Diori Hernandez replaces Troy Gloss at third on the double switch. So it will be Diori Hernandez who will bat in the 9th slot, and that will be the leadoff batter for the Braves in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the pitcher will bat in the 7th position. Aaron Rowan is pinch hitting for Mike Fontenot here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Giants looking at a chance to take the lead. They have not had the lead tonight. Trailed 1-0. Cody Ross's homer tied it up, and after trailing 2-1, they have again drawn even. And the first pitch is a strike to Aaron Rowan. Played for a world championship team with the Chicago White Sox. There's Pat Burrell at second. Posey the runner at third, and Uribe with the lead at first. Rowan is a .227 pinch hitter this year. Facing Johnny Venters. Critical time of this game after the Braves took the 2-1 lead. Giants have tied it up, and a swing and a miss. Strike 2, Venters is ahead of Rowan, the pinch hitter. Rowan in his third postseason. 32-year-old pinch hitting here for Fontenot. And again, time called, and McCann talking to Venters now. Want to remind you, coming up tomorrow, it'll be the deciding game of the ALDS, the Texas Rangers against the Tampa Bay Rays. Rangers won the first two on the road. The Rays won the next two on the road, and now they come back with Cliff Lee. David Price matched up in Game 5. One ball, two strikes to Rowan.
A waste pitch fastball that time from Venters at 96 miles an hour up in the zone. His best fastball is the one he keeps down around the knees with a lot of sinking movement.
Two balls and two strikes. On deck is Cody Ross.
Great job once again by Brian McCann. He's done yeoman's work back there blocking pitches in the dirt this series. None bigger than that one.
Two balls and two strikes with one out. Braves are at double play depth in the middle of the infield. Score is tied 2-2. And striking out is Rowan for the second out, and a big out for Johnny Venters.
Now, Venters is a guy that has a reputation as a power pitcher, although he has an excellent slider, as you will see right here. First pitch slider for a called strike. Swinging strike on a slider in the middle of the plate. There was the waste fastball, and then he goes right back with back-to-back sliders to strike out the pinch-hitting Aaron Rowan.
And in Game 3 in the 8th inning on Sunday, Venters struck out Posey, Uribe, and Fontenot. And now looking at Cody Ross, who was 1 for 2. And Ross with a home run over the left field wall last inning. That tied the game before the home run by McCann gave the Braves a 2-1 lead. Giants now looking to take the lead. And if Cody Ross can keep things going, Edgar Renteria will be pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Ground ball in the hole and a base hit. Posey will score. Pat Burrell rounds third. Here comes the play to the plate, and Burrell is out at home. Diaz to McCann gets Pat Burrell, but Posey scores, and the Giants will take a 3-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th. Watch the block by McCann, and Burrell couldn't get close to the plate. as the Braves come up. But have been a wild last couple of innings here, Bob.
A really wild last couple of innings, and what a tremendous play by left fielder Matt Diaz to end that last half of the inning. Also the catcher Brian McCann hanging in there. We'll get a great look at it from this angle. Diaz does not possess a strong throwing arm, but he charges the ball extremely hard, airmails it all the way to the plate where Brian McCann did not give an inch. Sat right in the baseline in front of home plate, caught the ball, took the lick from Pat Burrell, and was able to apply the tag for the out.
So the bottom of the 7th inning, and the first pitch is outside for a ball. Cody Ross moves to left field. Nate Cheer holds to right. That's been the move that Bruce Bochy has made throughout. Edgar Renteria has moved to shortstop, and Juan Uribe to third base, and Diori Hernandez fouls off the pitch, 1-1. So there is Uribe at third, and Renteria would have come up as a pinch hitter had the inning been extended. And the new pitcher is Santiago Casilla, making his first appearance of this series. Right-hander who had pitched for the Oakland A's. Pitch well back, 2 balls and a strike. So those are the numbers for Santiago Casilla during the year. 1.95 earned run average, and the opposing hitters didn't do well against him at all. 208 against the right-hander from the Dominican Republic.
Casilla throws extremely hard. His average fastball will sit in the upper 90s. He's touched 100 miles an hour several times this year. 97 on that one, up and in. When he's commanding his curveball, it is a really good pitch for him. When he's not getting the curveball over, it's all fastballs.
Ramon Ramirez now throwing in the Giant bullpen. Diori Hernandez, who was called up in August from the Braves AAA Gwinnett Farm, went into play third base in a double switch last inning. Showed bunt, takes a strike, and the count is full. On deck, the top of the order, Omar Infante for the Braves. So the Braves find themselves trailing here as we get to the 7th inning for Atlanta at the plate, knowing that if the Giants hold on, they will march on to the National League Championship Series against the Phillies, who swept the Reds. Santiago Casilla last pitched 8 days ago as Bruce Bochy and Bobby Cox matching wits here in this National League Division Series. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Diori Hernandez. And a foul ball. And Hernandez will have to come back. Diori Hernandez. He hit 111 in 20 games, but up only 9 times during the regular season. Here's Eric Hinsky sitting there, and Hinsky delivering a key pinch 2-run homer last night in the bottom of the 8th inning, only to see the Giants score 2 in the 9th and win it. Again, the payoff pitch to Diori Hernandez. Reaching out again and fouling it at the plate. Madison Bumgarner started and worked 6 innings. Gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 5, and walked 1. Gave up the home run to Brian McCann. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Braves trying to get the tying run aboard here. And Hernandez strikes out for the first out in the 7th.
Hernandez may have swung a ball for a couple of times in that sequence right there. Casilla with a hard tailing 97-mile-an-hour fastball well off the inside corner. Hernandez cannot make contact with that one. Was able to foul off the previous pitch, missed that one.
That'll bring the Braves leadoff hitter Omar Infante up. Infante 1 for 3 with a single and has scored one of the 2 Atlanta runs. He has 5 hits and 16 trips in the series. 0-1 to Infante. Casilla in relief of Bumgarner. Ground ball back to Casilla. And he underhands it to Huff for the second out. 2 out here, and the crowd, which has been vocal tonight at its quietest, as we've seen teams answer runs. The Giants tied it up 1-1, only see the Braves untied in the bottom of the 6th inning, and then answering that was the Giants' 2 runs in the top of the 7th. And Melky Cabrera is going to come up and pitch hit for Matt Diaz.
I think the fans are in shock, Dick, because they saw more offense in that 6th and top half of the 7th inning than we saw in the previous 4 games.
So here is the switch hitting Melky Cabrera, who hit .255 with 42 runs batted in the regular season. Two out, nobody on base here in the Braves 7th inning. He chops one to the right side, and Casilla will make the grab and make the play unassisted. A 1-2-3 inning for Santiago Casilla, and we go to the 8th with the Giants up 3-2. Summary. Giants leading 3-2. Derek Lowe worked 6 in the 3rd innings, and Madison Bumgarner 6 innings. Both starters have gone. Cody Ross with a solo home run and an RBI single has knocked in 2 of the runs for the Giants. Brian McCann with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd and a solo homer has driven in both of the Atlanta runs. And Edgar Renteria will lead off. Melky Cabrera, who hit for Matt Diaz, goes into left field, and Renteria batting in the 9th slot. So the pitcher will hit in the 7th position for the Giants. Renteria in the 10th inning laid down a beautiful bunt to lead off the 10th for the Giants, who did not score thanks to the double play that ended that threat in Game 2. 2-0 the count to Renteria. Renteria spent 2 years with the Braves. And the ground ball, backhanded by Gonzalez. In the dirt, safe at first. Renteria is on at first base to start the 8th inning, and that'll be a base hit.
Ball hit deep in the hole at shortstop for Gonzalez. He's had some fielding issues of his own in this series, but gets to that ball in good shape. The ball picked out of the dirt at first by Derek Lee. Man, how many close plays can you have in one series? Get one more look at it from this angle. It's about as close as it can get.
Derek Lee doing what he does, digging it out. There's the bunt attempt by Andres Torres, fouled back for a strike. So the Giants looking for an insurance run here in the top of the 8th inning, leading 3-2, and trying to wrap it up here and win in 4 games. Torres has grounded out, reached on an error, and struck out. Diori Hernandez again creeping in from third. And the bunt attempt misses. That'll be a strike, and it's 0-2.
5 sacrifice bunts during the regular season from Torres. 4 of those from the left side of the plate. Only 1 from the right side. He does not look comfortable trying to get that bunt down against Venters.
Johnny Venters came in and struck out Aaron Rowan. And he got the 3rd out after a base hit knocked in the lead run for the Giants on the great throw by Matt Diaz to Brian McCann to get Pat Burrell at the plate. Now the count 1-2 to Torres, with Freddie Sanchez on deck. Way high and away, and it's 2-2. There's Sanchez, who was hitless tonight. Johnny Venters, the 3rd pitcher for the Braves. Derek Lowe worked 6 in the 3rd innings. That's Mike Dunn, the left-hander. Foul at the plate. We have seen the full complement of the Braves relief pitchers in every game of this series.
Well, Bobby Cox has a lot of confidence in him. He's got righties, he's got lefties, he's got matchups every direction you could possibly think of. But the other side of the coin is so does Bruce Bochy. Bullpens will definitely figure in the outcome of this ball game.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first is Edgar Renteria. And the count now 3-2. Full count to Torres. Johnny Venters has the right-handed hitting Freddie Sanchez coming up next. Dunn, the left-hander, in the bullpen for the Braves. And striking out is Torres for the first out here in the 8th inning, as we check in with Matt Weiner in our studio. Thank you very much, Matt. Freddie Sanchez with 1 out. And the throw to first base. In the past 3 years, and that includes 12 different matchups in the playoffs in the division series, the team winning the first game has gone on and won the division series. That may not happen in tomorrow night's Texas-Tampa Bay game. 0-1 the count to Sanchez. Braves are trailing 3-2 here. They've never advanced from an NLDS in a series that has gone 5. It's their only hope to break that string if they can win this game and send it to a decisive game.
Venters really overthrowing his fastball in the game tonight. I mentioned earlier it's best when it's down in the zone, has a lot of sinking movement, a very heavy sinking 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He's overthrown a number of them, left them up and away from right-handed hitters.
Again outside, and it's 2-1. And they'll meet in the mound, McCann and Benners here. Mike Dunn has been joined by right-hander Kyle Farnsworth in the Atlanta bullpen. Want to remind you to catch all the action of the 2010 Major League Baseball postseason on TBS and Fox.
It's not often you see a catcher call a second baseman in for a meeting on the mound with nobody at second base. Not sure exactly the reason for that.
2-1 pitch and a foul ball. Past Tim Flannery, the Giants' third base coach.
Occasionally those middle infielders, because they can peer in at the catcher signs, will start to cheat in one direction or the other depending on the pitch that's being thrown to home plate. Perhaps Brian McCann saw Infante moving too soon, perhaps tipping off Freddie Sanchez at the plate as to what was coming.
And a shot that Gonzalez handles, gets one, gets two, and the double play gets the Braves out of it. So Gonzalez has had a very busy night at shortstop, and he starts this double play, and we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Braves trailing the Giants 3-2. They have the middle of the order coming up. Television's last most anticipated television event. Conan premieres November 8th at 11, 10 Central, only on TBS. Santiago Casilla facing Derek Lee, bottom of the 8th inning. Braves trail the Giants by 1 and a call strike. Lee has flied out 3 times.
And has hit the ball hard all 3 times. Just a little bit tardy on a fastball with the sac fly to right field, or rather the fly ball to right field that moved Infante to third base, setting up the sacrifice fly.
He hasn't missed by much on some of those fly balls. No balls and 2 strikes as Casilla, who retired. The Braves in order coming in the 7th for Madison Bumgarner, the starter. A hit on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Fastball fouled back right on that pitch. Giants have Javier Lopez, the lefty, and Ramon Ramirez in the bullpen. We got Brian McCann on deck. Garcia ahead of Lee, 2 strikes. And Derek Lee strikes out for the first out here in the 8th inning. Second strikeout for Garcia. And we have the left-handed hitting Brian McCann coming to the plate. No move yet by Bruce Bochy.
Now this is that curveball I talked about earlier. When he is throwing it in the strike zone, it is a devastating 12-6 straight down breaking curveball in the low 80s. That time got Derek Lee to swing right over the top.
So here's Brian McCann going to face the right-hander here. McCann homered to give the Braves a 2-1 lead in the 6th inning, only to see the Giants come back with 2 in the 7th. And the first pitch is ball 1. Last night, Eric Hinsky hits a 2-run pinch homer in the 8th inning to give the Braves the lead, only to see the Giants answer that with 2 in the 9th, and they won it 3-2. 1-0 to McCann. Once again, time called by Mike Winters.
You can see Torres shaded toward left center in this particular bat for Brian McCann. It's because Casilla throws extremely hard and tries to command that fastball on the outside corner. Earlier in the ballgame against Madison Bumgarner, slider on the outside corner of the plate. He reached out and hooked it back to right field for a home run. Apparently the Giants don't feel McCann is going to pull the fastball of Casilla.
And he hits it through the left side in a base hit. And you talked about how much McCann has been able to go to the opposite field. He does effectively here against Garcia. And McCann with his second hit of the game. And the tying run is at first, and we'll have a pinch runner as Alex Gonzalez will come to the plate. And it'll be Nate McLeod pinch running for Brian McCann. So McCann leads the game with a home run and a sacrifice fly, driving in both Braves runs. And McLeod is on at first with 1 out. Conference in the mound with Gonzalez coming up.
McLeod 7 out of 9 on the season in limited playing time stealing bases. He's always stolen for a very high percentage. Picks his spots well.
Lopez and Ramirez and the Giant bullpen. Craig Kimbrell working in the Braves pen. Ball 1 inside to Gonzalez, who was 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd inning. Gonzalez is 0 for 9 in his career against Santiago Casilla. He's ahead of the count, however, 2-0. Giant bullpen with Lopez and Ramirez and Gonzalez, who was the hero in Game 2. One of them, of course, for the Braves, getting that double that tied the score in the 8th inning. A game in which the Braves won in 11. There's a strike on the inside corner, 2-1 now. Sia taking his time after pitches.
McLeod not really getting a base stealing lead over there at first base. Fairly conservative since coming on as a pinch runner for Brian McCann.
Jason Hayward on deck. The lead by McLeod. He goes, and the pitch, soft liner, bobbled by Renteria, and his only play is to first. He would have had an easy double play had he held on to that liner as McLeod was running. It instead can only get Gonzalez, and McLeod moves into scoring position.
Like Renteria got caught up whether to catch it fingers up or fingers down. Tried to catch it with the fingers up, hit off the heel of the glove, dropped harmlessly to the ground where he picked it up and got the out at first, but runner in scoring position.
And Jason Hayward coming up, and Bruce Bochy likely going to Javier Lopez, the lefty A pitching change here. We'll be back. To Javier Lopez, who comes on here in the 8th inning. The Giants leading 3-2. A victory here will wrap up this division series. And Javier Lopez making his second appearance in the series. Those are his regular season numbers and a big acquisition from the Pirates.
He is death on left-handed hitters that drop down low three-quarters, occasionally all the way down to sidearm delivery. Very tough for lefties to hang in there. One thing, however, Lopez does not possess an overpowering fastball. That's the pitch that's been giving Jason Hayward the most trouble in this postseason. He's really had a slow bat, had trouble catching up to fastballs. I don't think Lopez can overpower him.
Let's see that play to Renteria once more time, Bob.
Yeah, he came in and tried to catch it, as I said, with the fingers up. It hit off the heel of the glove. Fortunately for him, it dropped right down at his feet. Gonzalez, assuming that Renteria was going to make the play, just ran a couple steps out of the batter's box and then stopped. By the time he sees the ball on the ground, no chance to leg it out.
So the Braves have McLeod, the pinch runner in scoring position, and here's Jason Hayward, who is 0 for 12 with 7 strikeouts coming into this game, but he has singled twice in 3 trips. So you see how tough Lopez is against lefties. Hayward, however, 306 with runners in scoring position this year. 2 down, runner at second. Giants lead 3-2. And the first pitch, strike 1. And in the on-deck circle is Brooks Conrad. And the drama just doesn't quit in this series. There's the lead by McLeod. Conrad benched tonight after the error-filled game and a big swing and a miss. And Jason Hayward in an 0-2 hole here. Pitcher spot is on deck, and that's Brooks Conrad. No balls and 2 strikes. 1-2 now to Hayward. Hayward had 18 game-winning runs batted in during the regular season. He, along with Buster Posey, the catcher, right there in the batter's box, the top rookie prospects in the league. 1-2 pitch, and Hayward strikes out. And Javier Lopez gets it for the 3rd out, and the Braves lead the tying run in scoring position. We go to the 9th here in Atlanta with the Giants clinging to a 3-2 lead. 4-2 lead. They're batting in the 9th inning. And Johnny Bender's trying to keep the score at 3-2 before the Braves come up for their last chance in this series in the bottom of the 9th. Brian McCann, who was pinch run for David Ross, now the catcher for Atlanta. Aubrey Huff. And the count 1-1 to Huff, who walked and scored a run his last time up.
You lose absolutely nothing defensively with David Ross behind the plate. Very good receiver, very good thrower, veteran backup catcher. However, should the Braves be able to tie this ball game up in the 9th inning, and you roll back around to Brian McCann's spot, they will definitely miss that man.
He's been their best run producer in this series, and he was their leading run producer in the regular season. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Venters. And Huff gets a base hit to right field. So Aubrey Huff with his 4th hit of the series. And the Giants, looking for that insurance run, have the leadoff man on. Tomorrow on TBS, postseason coverage continues. The first Game 5 in Division Series play since 2005. Rays back home in Tampa with, actually, St. Petersburg, with David Price hoping to lead his team to its 2nd ALCS in the last 3 years, while the Rangers will ask Cliff Lee to pitch them to their first ever postseason series win. It all starts with TBS MLB On Deck, presented by Jeep. Pitching change coming up. We'll be back. He is making his 4th appearance. Very impressive in the first 3. And he opened the 9th inning last night and faced 4 batters. And was the losing pitcher.
Overpowering fastball in the upper 90s, a devastating slider. As you said, Bobby Cox has used his bullpen liberally in this series. A lot of very young power arms. Kimbrel projected either Kimbrel or Johnny Venters to be the closer for this Braves team next year. He'll face Buster Posey here with a runner at first base. No chance Buster Posey's going to be up there to put down a sac bunt.
Posey is 1 for 3 with an infield hit and scored a run. Cody Ross with 2 RBIs in the game with the home run in the 6th. And the Giants' lead run as a result of Ross's single. Knocking in Posey, there is Brian Wilson. He's hoping to come in the game with at least a 1-run lead to save it and wrap things up. Giants trying to advance to the NLCS for the first time since 2002. Kimbrel throws over to keep Aubrey Huff close. And the Giants looking for an insurance run. And the count is 1-0 to Posey. Giants beat the Braves for their last division series win, beating Atlanta in 5 games back in 2002. Fly ball drifting out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Giants have Travis Ishikawa on deck. he would be hitting for the pitcher. The 1-1 is a call, strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Craig Kimbrell, fourth pitcher of the night. Derek Lowe started, worked 6 1/3 innings, gave up a run on 2 hits and struck out 8. A career high for a postseason. Sliding back is Huff.
Huff not really a threat to steal. You pay him a minimum of attention over there at first base, and he's not going to go anywhere.
Chasing is Posey, and he strikes out for the first out here in the 9th inning. Second time Posey's going down on strikes tonight.
A lot of scouts here tonight making notes not only for the rest of the postseason, but for next season. Buster Posey having trouble with sliders low and away, and that 97-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees on the outside corner. Who doesn't have trouble with that pitch?
And here is the pinch hitter, Travis Ishikawa, who pinch hit last night, drew a walk, and scored the tying run for the Giants. He's .319 as a pinch hitter this year, batting in the pitcher spot, which is 5th in the order for the Giants. 1 out, 1 on, fastball, foul back for strike 1. So it's another 1-run game and another well-pitched game we have here in Game 4. But if the Giants go on and hold their lead, they will advance to the NLCS to play the Philadelphia Phillies. Down low, 1-1.
Another well-pitched game, also another shoddy defensive ball game. A lot of missed plays. Some of the plays that will not go down as errors in the scorebook, but certainly mental mistakes.
Throw to first. Speaking about errors, how about the Cincinnati Reds and the problems they had in the field against the Phillies?
Well, I'll tell you, anybody that watched the Reds play very much this year, that was a shock. They were an airtight defensive ball club. That really came as a surprise.
You see things here in postseason you don't expect to see. And a bounding ball up the middle. Gonzalez steps on the bag, throw to first for the double play. So the second double play in as many innings started by Alex Gonzalez. And the Braves will face Brian Wilson, their closer, and their last chance in the bottom of the 9th, trailing 3-2. Dick Stockton, along with Bob Brenly and Tom Verducci, and Brooks Conrad, who is benched tonight. He has had a miserable series in the field from the end of the season through this series, facing Brian Wilson, the Giant closer, who earned a save last night in game number 3. And the first pitch missed, strike 1. So Brian Wilson, making his 3rd appearance in this series, blew a save in game 2, got a save last night, had 48 saves to lead the major leagues this year. Travis Ishikawa replacing Aubrey Huff at first base. So Conrad pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. And the count 1-1 to Brooks Conrad.
If you haven't seen Wilson so far in this series, basically a 2-pitch guy, a 4-seam fastball that'll sit in the mid-90s, a cut fastball in the low 90s, and he'll throw the cutter to both sides of the plate.
Conrad is 1 for 10 so far in the series. Two balls and a strike. Giants 3 outs away from advancing to the National League Championship Series. Rick Ankiel waits on deck. And they were going with the top closer in baseball, Brian Wilson, here to nail it down. Conrad hits in the air to center field. And Andres Torres has it, 1 out in the 9th. So this could be finally the finale for 69-year-old Bobby Cox, who has been a great legendary manager in this game, Bob Brenly.
You know, Bobby Cox may be retiring at the end of this season, but he's left his mark on this game, not only all the players that he's managed over the years, but 9 current or former managers were either coaches under Bobby Cox or players under Bobby Cox during their career.
Spent 51 years of his life in the game of baseball in various capacities. The 0-1 to Ankiel outside, 1-1. Rick Ankiel 0 for 2 with a walk. And it was Rick Ankiel who struck the big blow in the 11th inning in game 2 in San Francisco with a home run that gave the Braves a 5-4 win. Foul back on the screen, now 1-2.
Boy, Ankiel got a good pitch to hit right there, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, pretty much in the middle of the strike zone. He likes to work that 4-seamer away, especially in this situation. But that's very similar to the pitch Rick Ankiel hit into McCovey Cove in San Francisco.
Eric Hinsky is on deck. And that's down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eric Hinsky, who had a pinch hit 2-run homer last night to give the Braves a lead for ever so short a time before the Giants won it 3-2. Check swing, just missing outside. And a full count to Ankiel.
That cut fastball to the outside corner, just off the plate. Real good take that time by Ankiel.
The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and the Braves have the tying run at first. Rick Ankiel draws a walk, and here comes Eric Hinsky. And then last night, Eric Hinsky with the magic in the 8th inning with 1 out, and the Braves trailing 1-0 with a pinch 2-run homer off of Sergio Romo, giving the Braves a 2-1 lead. His second career postseason home run. He's had 4 pinch homers this season. Hinsky has been in the World Series the last 3 years with 3 different teams. Trying to keep it going for the Braves and for Bobby Cox. Ball 1 up high.
Wilson has thrown a couple of good cutters since coming into the ball game here in the ninth, but he's not commanding that pitch as well as he normally does, and that's a dangerous pitch to a left-handed hitter if he catches too much plate.
Giants leading 3-2. Bottom of the ninth inning, 1 out. The tying run at first. Big swing and a miss by Hinske.
That was the four-seamer at 95, up around the letters.
There you see Hinske with 2 pinch-hit home runs in postseason history. Brian Wilson trying to end it for the Giants. 2-1.
Wilson is also much more effective with that four-seam fastball when he works it to the outside part of the plate to a left-handed hitter. Tends to leave it up in the zone when he goes inside.
Quick throw. Omar Infante, the leadoff hitter for the Braves, on deck. And 1 pitch away from putting the tying run in scoring position. Infante, who has 1 hit waiting on deck. Strike 2. Giants looking to get to the NLCS. First time since 2002 when they beat the Cardinals for the National League pennant. Payoff pitch coming up. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks by Brian Wilson to Ankiel and Eric Hinske, and the Braves have the tying run at second and the winning run at first, with Omar Infante coming up and Dave Righetti on the phone.
I think Dave Righetti, the pitching coach for the Giants, realizes that Brian Wilson does not have his good command tonight. He is normally spot on with that four-seamer to the outside corner. The cutter's not there for him right now, and a couple of real patient at-bats put the go-ahead run at first base for the Braves.
Tim Hudson is going to pinch run for Eric Hinske. So a little more speed at first, and Keels at second. Here is Omar Infante, and he takes strike 1. 1 out. We're in the ninth inning. Braves trying to stay alive and get even at least, and try to force a deciding game. No balls and 2 strikes now to Infante. And Melky Cabrera is on deck for the Braves. Ahead on the count is Wilson. 1-2.
Better command of the cutter with a right-handed hitter at the plate. He's been able to keep that ball on the outer third of the plate, working it toward the outside corner against Infante.
Wilson readying his 20th pitch, and Ramon Ramirez throwing in the bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Infante. 2 on. And that evens the count after getting ahead 2 strikes. The mantra for the Giants all year has been torture. But they wouldn't mind a game of torture here if they survive and move on. Check swing. He went around. Strike 3, and Infante goes down on strikes for the second out here in the 9th inning. And that will leave it up to Melky Cabrera.
Once again, that cutter off the outside corner to Infante. So hard to pick up the rotation on that pitch. The velocity is near his four-seam fastball, but with a lot more movement away from a right-handed hitter.
Melky Cabrera, 0 for 6. Facing Brian Wilson with 2 out and 2 on. Strike 1. And Brian Wilson, after walking 2 batters after the first out, settling down here, getting Infante and strikes, and is ahead 0-1 on Cabrera. Braves are down to their last out. Tying run is at second. Winning run at first. Giants lead 3-2. What a series this has been. 1-run games in every contest. Now it's 2-1 to Cabrera. And if Cabrera can keep the Braves going, Derek Lee waits on deck. And a chopper to third. The throw across in time, and the Giants have won the series. The Giants are going to the NLCS for the 5th time in their history and look to win their 4th West Coast pennant. And they did it the hard way, winning 2 games on the road here at Turner Field, where wins have been hard to come by for the Giants ever since Turner Field opened. Final score, the Giants beat the Braves 3-2 and capture the series 3-1. And they keep alive their dreams of their first world championship since 1954. Looking to win their first since their move to San Francisco.
Certainly congratulations to the San Francisco Giants, but kudos to the Atlanta Braves, one of the most undermanned teams going into the postseason in years, and yet they took the Giants right to the brink every night. What an exciting series.
And a finish for Bobby Cox. And Bobby Cox is out of the dugout right now and waving to the crowd and saluting the Giants, who beat him. It was going to end sometime, and the Giants respond. Right now, let's go down to the field to Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Dick. I'm with Cody Ross. Cody, you got here in August. You've ridden this train now to the National League Championship Series. Tell me about your feelings in another one-run win for the Giants.
I can't say enough about our pitching. I mean, they just keep us in it the whole time, and we just got to score a few, and we did tonight, and it was it was a big win. I mean, to come in here and take 2, it's huge.
You got the game-tying hit off Derek Lowe, the game-winning hit, as it turned out. Take me inside those 2 at-bats.
Derek was phenomenal tonight, just pounding the zone, and we couldn't get anything going. And, I just going up there, being aggressive, looking for a pitch to hit. Got a good one and put some good wood on it. I mean, what can I say?
Your first time in postseason, Cody. How were you able to control your emotions throughout this series?
I think just experience playing the game, for a few years. You don't let your emotions get too high. You don't get too low. You just got to stay even kill. And, you lose some, you win some. And, you just got to stay the same. And every at bat I just went up there like it was just a normal regular at bat in the regular season, and I think that's how you do it.
I know you have a series championship to celebrate here, but I have to ask you about Bobby Cox, the end of his managing career. Nice touch by the Giants to congratulate him. Your feelings about Bobby Cox?
He's the best manager for me that's ever managed the game. I got a chance to play against him for 5 years, and I love coming in here and seeing him, and he's always out early in BP, and I want to congratulate the Atlanta Braves for a fine season, and congratulate him on a wonderful career.
Cody Ross, thank you. Back to you, Dick.
All right, thank you very much. And the Giants show their respect for Bobby Cox and now celebrating in their clubhouse. And Bob Brenly, this series went exactly as you portrayed it at the beginning, with pitching holding center stage.
Well, it seems like every postseason the pitching comes to the forefront, Dick, and we see some old-fashioned baseball. Pitching, defense, taking advantage of every opportunity you get offensively, and this series came exactly as advertised. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way I think a lot of people were hoping it would for Bobby Cox, but certainly does not take any of the luster off of a Hall of Fame career.
Not at all. And right now, Tom Verducci has Madison Bumgarner down on the field.
Thank you, Dick. Madison, you grew up a Braves fan. You're pitching a clinching game here at Turner Field. Tell me about your emotions coming into the game tonight and how you held them in check.
It's pretty awesome to get to be able to experience something like this, especially as young as me, the first year. So, there's a lot of emotions going through my body before the game, but I tried to stay relaxed and keep myself composed, and felt like we did a pretty good job of that. And Buster back there keeps me in line, so it's pretty awesome.
Now, your starting pitcher's only allowed 3 earned runs in this series. Did you feel like you wanted and had to keep this thing going?
Yeah, they've been unbelievable the first 3 games, so we're on a pretty good roll there. I just tried to go out there and relax and make pitches, and I feel like I did an all right job tonight, so it's pretty good.
Thank you, Madison. Congratulations. Back to you, Dick.
Thank you, Tom. It was a pleasure working with you and with you, Bob Brenly.
My pleasure, Dick. Enjoyed every inning of it.
Okay. Well, the producer of tonight's game is Jeff Gowan. Director Jim Lynch. They led a great production and technical crew throughout this series. The associate director, Eric Billigmeyer, and the production assistants, Jeff Paris and Lee Mabry. Our technical producer, Craig Marlowe. The technical director, Simon Benazra, and our field producer, Sean Gerchikoff. The producer of the studio show is Tim Kiley, and the director is Steve Fiorello. The coordinating producer of the MLB on TBS is Glenn Diamond. The vice president of production is Howard Zolkowitz. The executive producer is Jeff Benke. The COO is Lenny Daniels. And the president of Turner Sports is David Levy. The Giants beat the Braves and move on to play the Phillies. And so for Bob Brenly and Tom Verducci, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Atlanta. Thank you for watching TBS, exclusive home to the Division Series and the ALCS. Now it's time for Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. Remember to drink responsibly. Here is Matt Weiner.